we're talking about the new Sesame Street character named Alex who has a dad who's incarcerated, and I think that Sesame Street did the right thing by taking on this topic because in my earlier video, I was talking about how the incarceration rate for African Americans is, from what I recall, the statistic was 46%. I don't have it in front of me, but if, let's assume that each kid, or let's put it this way, I meant to say, let's assume that each dad has one kid. So let's assume one dad, one child, and so you have 46 out of 100 children with dads in jail. So Sesame Street needed to take this on, and, or even in prison, because whether jail or prison is to factor into dad's life, the dad's still incarcerated, and whether or not he actually did anything, I mean, he could have even been framed for something, because that does sometimes happen in cases where someone didn't do something and yet they're framed. Sesame Street did the right thing by taking on this topic, and a lot of people say, oh, it's controversial, they should be talking about that, they should be whatever. You know what? For lack of a better term, crap happens. And as I said, Sesame Street did the right thing by taking on this issue, because since this country has almost, as I said here, we're having 46 out of 100 kids with dads who are incarcerated, and if we have almost, again, assuming one dad, one child, if we have almost half of parents, half of dads in jail, then that's a real issue, and someone needed to finally take on the issue of having a dad who is incarcerated. And you can watch a clip for yourself, because I decided to watch it. My sister first told me about this, and at first I thought, maybe even just for a second or so, I'm like, hey, I'm not sure this is a good idea, or I know some people will think maybe this is going too far, but then again I thought, just as I said, you know what, it's just like with the divorce issue. Life sucks, but someone had to take it on. Someone had to talk about it. And there are those issues that we like to sweep under the rug, or, you know, we think about the person more who's involved in what's going on than the innocent parties. But for the sake of the innocent parties, we have to talk about those kinds of issues, whether it's the kid who, that is, whether the party is the kid who had nothing to do with his or her parents' divorce, or the kid who had nothing to do with his dad being incarcerated. By the way, I'm going to link to the clip, so, as I said, you can see it and make your own conclusion.